Coming to get you, Barbara.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
I like to dissect girls. Did you know I'm utterly insane?
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
We have such sights to show you.
Who's laughing now?
I'll drive you crazy. I'll kill you all. I'm the greatest nightmare you ever had. I am your worst dream come true. I'm everything you ever were afraid of.
They're here.
Boom! There we go. I like the enthusiasm in the room, people. Excellent work. Excellent work. Oh my goodness.
Gotta Tybo it out.
No. I thought I was diddy bopping it, as the children would say nowadays. Yes. That's a thing.
What the fuck in the huh?
That's a dance for the children's the hip cool ones, They trip their parents and let them go bop with each other, why not?
But it's called a diddy bop, like that's legit, or are you just making shit up to sound cool?
I swear that is a real thing. That is
Sounds like you're making it up.
You are making it up 100%.
So much shit is recycled. I mean, this could be like the reboot of something from like the fucking 40s or whatever. Well, then, like we're taking it. It's ours now.
Have you guys heard that Yada song? Yada, 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 or whatever? That's just from Seinfeld. That's all it is, Seinfeld.
What? Huh?
Oh, you don't want to know.
What are you talking about?
You don't want to know what I'm talking about. But Jeffrey, Greg, Gary, how you guys doing? Hope you're doing well tonight. Hope everybody is doing well out there. Because we got quite a show for you today. We've got some very interesting things. As the Facebook status would say, we have some mean girls for you. And there's two of them right there. They're very mean to me.
Well, I figured since we were probably crazy ass bitches at one point, so I mean, let's talk about like the next, or actually not the next generation, past generations of crazy ass bitches. Only they're like super crazy ass bitches because they actually killed somebody. They can't prove what we've done. So
yeah. All right, there we go.
You got it time, right?
Took a second. I apologize. But now that I finally lit this stupid thing, let's go ahead and start the show properly with some Would You Rather.
Alrighty. Would you rather be featured in the Pain Olympics once or watch Two Girls, One Cup on a loop for 24 hours a day, one time a month?
Pain Olympics. I heard a lot of those were fake.
Do I get to pick what day it is every month?
I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter.
You still gotta watch it.
I am going with the Two Girls and the One Cup.
God, really?
I have seen what the Pain Olympics is supposed to be.
Dude, have you seen Two Girls, One Cup?
I can't watch that once a month on a loop.
I can't watch that once all the way through. It never happened.
I've never seen it. I'm so scared. I'm so scared to see it. I can't.
Oh my God. This is what happens when you hang out with guys all the time. I was in a band in my 20s and I was at band practice and the lead guitarist's girlfriend was there and we would hang out. And then one day we're like doing a break and the guys come in and there's a computer in the room that we're practicing in and they're like, hey, you guys want to see this video? And we're kind of like, okay. And they're like, oh, it's this video called da da da, and we're like, okay, what's it about? And they're like, oh, these girls like they poop in a cup, and we're like, why do we want to see that? That's gross. And they're like, no, you have to see it. They played it. We didn't even get all the way through it. We both turned around, ran for the door, and was fighting for the bathroom because I can't do human like adult poop.
I can't do caca.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, babies are fine. Animals are fine. For some reason, I can't do adults. Like, I struggle with that. So it was just, I was. Bleh.
And plus, they eventually barf it up.
I don't know. I didn't get that far. I got
what I hear. I'm like, I don't know.
We got to like the Baskin Robbins part, and then we were fucking out. We were out. Yeah, they got to 31 flavors.
Well, let's take a recap real quick. I'm gonna go find it and put it on the screen for everyone.
No, you won't.
No, I won't do that.
The whole account would get taken down in seconds.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm with Greg here on this one though. Yeah, 2 girls in 1 cup very easily. I am not letting what happens in the Pain Olympics happen to me. I still need those body parts. No matter how infrequently they get used, I still deserve to keep them attached to my body.
But there was question about whether or not all of them were real anyway. So who's to say you just couldn't make a fake one that looked realistic? That's why that was the first thing I said was Pain Olympics because we've already talked about this shit.
Loopholes.
I'm going to get an Oscar Mayer wiener, and I'm going to get some carving utensils and maybe some silly putty, and I'm going to work this shit out. So.
Okay, the same reason that nobody uses nuclear weapons anymore is not the question of will we actually do it? It's the fact that if it happens, you are screwed. I don't want that to even remotely happen to me, okay? Why don't you think we go to space anymore? It's not because Stanley Kubrick's dead. It's because it's dangerous. There's aliens that ate Neil Armstrong, and who came back was not Neil Armstrong, okay?
Jesus, that was dark.
Same thing as the Pain Olympics. Very scary stuff. We'll not let that happen. It's very no. I heard years ago during my Navy days in Japan, there's a video store that has small library of that kind of stuff. Yeah, it could
people
be
are into that shit.
Could be like 100% real, and I want a chance. Yeah, it's no, thank you. I'll watch the film. 24 hours. Done deal.
You nasty hoe.
He'd eventually find something he liked about it, though, so that he could stomach.
He'd be reviewing it and critiquing it and shit. He'd probably be following the fucking bitches on Instagram.
Keeping notes.
Are they even alive?
I don't know if this is true, but one of them may have died. One of them, I don't know if that's true.
Shut the fuck up. No way. Miguel, you gotta look that up.
I'm looking it up. I will search that.
Yeah.
Somebody go into some strange news.
Oh my lord. Okay, well. Okay, so I get there was another cold case that was solved with that CODIS technology that they came out with that caught the Golden State Killer and Samuel Little. What was just that recent one? Shit, it wasn't like or did they use something like that with the Zodiac, or they did something? I know they deciphered his shit. Anyway, they caught somebody else recently too using that. They've caught another person using this. It was what year was it? 81. They arrested David Dwayne Anderson for a Colorado cold case murder. And they solved it with a can of vanilla Coke, which I had no fucking clue they made that shit anymore. Vanilla Coke was delicious.
It is.
Yeah. I actually liked it, and I don't really like Coke.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like Coke anymore either. It's just not the same. But vanilla Coke was my jam. Now it's just vanilla Dr. Pepper. That's good. Don't ever betray me, Dr. Pepper. But yeah, I guess he had, what was that? Her name was Sylvia Quayle. He sexually assaulted her, strangled her, stabbed her, and shot her. The stabbing is what killed her, and then the shot to her body was secondary. So he shot her after he killed her.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, which was weird. And there's kind of like a coincidence, a connection to this case. In 1983, a false confession was given by Otis Toole. At the time, he was charged until the charges were dropped in 1993 because DNA on the rug didn't match Otis. And Otis was actually, I think they did a documentary on this guy. Like, he was the one giving all these false confessions and shit for murders he had no part of. He also admitted to, falsely admitted to killing John Walsh's son from America's Most Wanted.
Yeah, I heard about that.
That's why John Walsh started America's Most Wanted, was because his son was kidnapped and, like horrible things. But, and then that fucking guy got away. But yeah, so they caught another guy using this codex shit. So I wonder how many more people they're gonna. I mean, this is like, our technology is like closing in on everybody. Yeah. Like, you can't hide shit anymore. So they've come really close to Jack the Ripper. They're really, really strongly believing that it's probably a female that did it.
Really?
So, yeah, like, our technology is just, it's like, you can't hide anymore with our technology. You can't get away with anything anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, those days of anonymity are slowly disappearing, if not already. And kind of, in some places for good. Like, okay, now you can't, steal people in broad daylight and just drive away, and you're going to be gone forever. Or you can't shoot someone, and well, if no one was around, nothing would be done.
The cartel seems to be getting away with quite a bit, so I don't know.
That's pretty true. Yeah, that's true. So let's see. I have found some stuff here about these women and their drinking receptacles. It was a Brazilian production company ran by a gentleman named, where is his name? I just saw it, Marco Fiorito. Him and his wife actually started it, called Defecation Fetish among, where the heck's the company name?
I have
Dragon Films. Dragon Films. So it's a very strong, very powerful name for this. Heather,
not as powerful as Russian bear.
Well, real quick though, Heather says that she believes, but they did catch the Zodiac with that technology, though. To go back to the previous statement.
Okay, thank you. And hello, Heather, by the way.
And for the most part, though, for the this is a 10-year anniversary article I'm reading from Vice. They're fine. Everybody who ever worked with that guy apparently speaks very highly of him. That he pays very well for their industry. That he takes care of everybody as best he can. Him and his wife split because two working career-oriented people is very hard for relationships. So, it's very sad. It's not the poop.
She had a problem with ass to mouth constantly.
No, but she had a problem with the long hours. It's just difficult. It's difficult. I get it.
A lot of sanitizing, I'm sure.
Nonetheless, they are they're fine, and it looks like it was just a job for them. Everything else was simply the general public not liking that stuff. Thank God. Thank God it's not like a normal thing. I'm very happy poop is not good.
Oh my God.
Yes. Ugh. Let's get to a death.
I think I'd rather talk about cannibalism while eating tacos.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm on board with that.
That's for sure.
All right. So in Mississippi, July 16th, 2001, a man died using an acetylene torch to cut a hole in a 10,000-gallon tank filled with asphalt emulsion. He was attempting to visually look at the amount of emulsion that was in the tank. And he was told multiple times that it's combustible, like, don't do that. But he disregarded all safety measures and decided to try and cut a hole in this thing. And
You're fucking with me. Yeah. It's like,
Cool.
hey, I'm gonna go ahead and do this.
Yeah.
And then let's just go ahead and do it. That's worse than the fucking person laying in the road. I'm sorry. At least that person was drunk.
I know. I'm sorry about that last week. That really embarrassed me. Jesus.
No,
We should
I love
do
that
like
story
a.
though.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, keep on.
I was saying we should do like a Lauren's Award instead of like a Darwin's Award, and like Lauren can like pick her favorite death from the past year, and like say, yeah, this award goes to this jackass because you were the dumbest person all year that I found.
I would love that. Who is the dumbest?
I would actually. Ooh,
there's so many.
Crazy
there are
idea here
so
for
many.
next week. Okay, we're doing like a cigars March Madness for Tuesday shows right now. What if we do it with stupid deaths? 64 stupid deaths. That's the episode. We just eliminate them little by little until we get the number one stupid death. What do you guys think?
Fuck it. Why not?
I like it.
I'll look up. What is it for each of us? That's like what, 21, 22 deaths a person?
God. Okay. So by next Tuesday, we need to have 21 stupid people.
Oh, but by Thursday. By Thursday.
Or by Thursday. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe one sentence of what they did or something.
It won't be that hard.
Yeah, just the basics.
Okay.
Pit them dumbasses against each other. Yeah, just like Heather, that you can't teach dumbass. They are born that way. Okay, just like a flowering blossom of youth. We're just born that way. Okay, you can be born as stupid as you want. And Gary says, weirdos, weirdos on Twitter seem to go after people with bots and repeating technology to cancel and ruin people's lives for some reason to get kicks or fun out of it. Yeah, that seems to be happening more and more often, and I think it's two things. The first thing is definitely what you're saying. I think they're just getting some kind of weird pleasure out of it, which is weird to me. I don't understand it at all. Number two is people actually think they are in some kind of weird crusade to protect people from stuff like Dr. Seuss words or polar bears being too white over at Coca-Cola or whatever it is. Or vice versa, where like you care too much about the gender of a potato. Either way, I don't care if it's Mr. Potato. Just everyone. I think everyone.
I would rather everyone have common sense.
Yeah.
Than worry about pronouns and
worry about the shit that's on the radio. Like, what's that meme that keeps going? Oh, who was it? Somebody fucking posted this meme thing that was like Cardi B and some other, rapper chick. And it was saying like WAP was like the best song of the year, but we're worried about words in Dr. Seuss books. And Facebook actually put a fucking fact check thing over it. I'm like, are you serious? Why is Facebook even getting involved in this shit? Like, I don't know.
No sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Start worrying about what your children are listening to now and not the shit from what happened 50 years ago, because half the people can't even understand the shit that was written 50 years ago. It was written in different slang and shit. So fucking move on, Karens.
I wish people would, yeah. I mean, me and Ricky Bird from Hectic Film have a lot of the same political thoughts, so we share a lot of the same memes and stuff. And I saw one of his where it says something, be careful because Facebook is checking fake memes and this is posted from a real art. It was a meme about the memes, and then they fact checked that meme about fact checking memes.
Oh my god.
It was so meta. I want to say that we're still, advancing as a society, but maybe not.
No.
Maybe it's like a downward curve. We just got to ride it out.
I know. Well, I mean, look at the last time, and I know you all know this, the last time that things were banned, books were banned, speech was banned, all this kind of shit was, oh, you're not allowed to call it that anymore. Like, it happened in Germany. It happened in China.
Oh yeah, for sure that happened. China,
sure it
North
happened
Korea.
in Cuba at some point. You can't say anything against the government.
All you could just 1984. Watch it or read it.
Not too unreasonable. the UK, you can't post certain things on your social media if it's considered aggressive hate speech. They will come for you. They will come to your house.
Oh
If they know
my
your
Yeah.
IP address, they can come arrest you. They
It's
can
so
come
Dude,
find you.
they were doing that shit at the beginning of all of this beer bug crap with the people in China posting stuff from the hospital saying this is not what they're saying, because they were posting people falling down on the streets having seizures, like mass amounts of people were dying in the streets from this shit in China, and people
Yeah.
were saying on their social medias, this is fake, do not pay attention to this is not happening. And the cops were coming to their house saying they're speaking against the government, and that is, if they don't remove it and put an apology up, they will be arrested. And there are people videotaping the cops saying this to people at their doors. So it's like, you see that it's legit. It's not that somebody just typed it out or said it in another video. Like, there's actual video proof of the police going to these people's doors doing this shit. So
Yes.
it's going to happen. If you watch China, it used to be Venezuela. Venezuela, not so much anymore. A little bit of Venezuela, Australia, and China. If you watch those three places and watch the stuff that's happening there, it eventually like sploos over here at least a little bit. If not full force, it does come over here a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, at the beginning, I this is like way more conspiracy in this, but like the beginning of the COVID shutdowns was about the time that China was gearing up for some serious political unrest. Certain parts of the country wanted freedom. They were literally, as we were arguing over ourselves that, you know, Trump is bad orange man, or you're good because you're doing this, whatever you wanted to believe, and people hating on like what America is doing. There were people in China waving American flags trying to get more freedom for themselves. They were fighting for things that we would take for granted every second of the day.
Yeah.
And then during the middle of these hundreds of thousands of people marches, hundreds of thousands, having to fight back with bow and arrows, because there was a group from one of the universities, because they don't have any kind of rights to own certain weapons.
Nope.
Then all of a sudden, this all happened.
Just like Australia.
Yeah, same with
Now
Australia.
they're banned there, I think.
Yeah, you can.
almost
Even the cops do not have weapons. They're fucked there.
Right.
So, and they're slowly trying to take them away here.
Well, if you go to Australia, you can register for an attack koala bear, and they're actually very vicious. You can't have the attack koala bears, very dangerous. The wombats are not as good, but they're cheaper. So if you want to get an attack wombat, totally fine. The boomerangs, I cannot get it to come back. So it's like, well, fucked, I guess.
Boomerangs are insensitive to the indigenous peoples of Australia. Apparently, that's a thing now too. You can't boomerang for it was a thing.
Yeah,
for a minute.
I heard that too. Yes. Oh my god.
It's offensive to the Aborigines. Can you call them that anymore now? Aborigines?
I don't know. Can we go ask them how many more of them are left?
7.
I'm not trying to be insensitive. I'm just saying.
No, it is. It's
languages.
because it gets ridiculous to an extent. It really gets ridiculous, because then when do we shoot into gender identity or gender appropriation?
Right.
You know, like, well, you're not a girl. Why are you dressing like a girl? Well, you're not a boy. Why are you dressing like a boy? Like, when do we start getting to stupid shit like that?
It will happen. It's gonna start eating itself. Like, oh my god, it'll get bad. It'll get real bad. I don't want to go into it too much because we got actually quite a bit to talk about tonight too. You guys want me to start us off?
Talk about the shift
I'm gonna eat my damn Girl Scout cookies, or I'm sorry, my Scout cookies.
Your gender equality cookies. They're twice as much money.
Anybody can be a Scout cookies.
I support the Girl Scouts because I was a Girl Scout and I think they're fucking awesome. So they need to be able to do more shit, but they're awesome. So buy Girl Scout cookies.
I was a Boy Scout for many years. I won a bunch of those little tournaments, like the Pinewood Derby and the Rain Gutter Regatta boat stuff. And I quit once I realized the next level was called We Below, and I was like, no, this is no more for Miguel. I'm not gonna go into high school belowing. No, this is dumb. Anyway, that's what they want. That's what they wanted. Okay, I'm just saying. All right. So I got the first thing here. Okay, let me see if I can share my article here on Mean Girls. Let's see. Come on. All right. So released in April of 2004. I believe the director was, where's his name? I just had it here. I'm sorry, guys. They have all this stuff laid out so well, and I can't find it. Anyway, starring Lindsay Lohan. It's a lovable movie. I believe they have a part 2 already. You guys are just gonna let me do this? You guys are gonna stop? Really?
I was just gonna let you kind of.
Girl Scout cookies.
You guys are the worst. That was my joke for the night, but now you guys ruined it.
We didn't even laugh.
We ruined it.
Yes. I thought it was funny because once I saw the post, I was like, "Oh, Mean Girls, fuck, I'm gonna do a joke." I was gonna play the trailer, but I was like, "Nah, that's too easy."
I was thinking of Mean Girls when I was like thinking. I was like, God, these girls are fucking horrible. Like they're like the real Mean Girls. These other girls ain't got shit.
Yeah.
I thought my high school experience was bad.
These bitches are crazy.
There you go. Well, we could go into the first one who had a very bad school experience. So I have right here. Let me share. This is a real one. Swear to God. Come on, computer. There we go. And it is the Cleveland, not high school, but elementary school of all places in San Diego, Cleveland Elementary School shooting. The girl who doesn't like Mondays, Brenda Spencer. She was years active, 2 counts of murder, 1 count of assault with deadly weapon, 25 to life in prison. She is the definition of a crazy school shooter. The only difference is that you don't hear a lot about female shooters. It tends not to be. This is weird, but it's just not a lady thing to do that you see very often. Like
we're kind of
like
hand-to-hand creatures.
Yeah.
We like to poison your food,
right? We're very involved and crafty.
And I know we've talked about her before, but I just think that kind of it's like Eileen Wuornos, with how she did her killing, her spree killing. It's different. I'm not saying it's better, but it's different. That's crazy. Right. There we go. So I'm gonna get rid of that one. That's just a quick one to kind of recap because it's one we've done before when we did the shootings and whatnot. I think that was it, right? We did an episode on school shootings. I think she was a part of that one. Yeah, that's what it was for. But again, Brenda Spencer, unbelievably crazy, and the only reason she doesn't like Mondays. She thought it would make it more exciting. That blows my mind right there.
So when you say that, you're quoting a serial killer. So you're welcome.
Oh my gosh! All right, who wants to get the next one in there?
If you guys don't mind, I want to do this before I lose this.
Go ahead.
Thank you. This one, I actually like that. That's why I thought of this topic for this week was because I found out that a movie I used to watch a lot as a kid was actually based on 2 girls that had murdered. Oh. And IFC used to be like a basic channel, basically. Like, where I lived anyway, it was. And they had this movie that would come on in the springtime called Heavenly Creatures. And it had Kate Winslet in it. And the chick that played Rose in 2.5 Men, the crazy brunette.
Yeah.
She's in it too. And they're like super fucking young. But like I said, and it came out in 1994.
Okay.
And I like I said, I had no clue it was based on a real event because I watched it a lot as a kid. I didn't watch it as an adult, but it came up in the YouTube feed. So
is it this one right here?
Yes.
That's okay. I just want to get a good grasp on that real quick. So I'm gonna take that down. I just want to. So that's a real story.
Yeah, I had no clue till, like I said, till just recently, and I was like, oh, now I want to rewatch it again as an adult, knowing that. Because I think if I would have watched it again as an adult, not knowing that, I think it really would have taken a lot from me. Like, oh fuck, now I got to watch it again. Like, so I don't know. As an adult now, it would be like a little, because I don't remember all of it. I just remember it was kind of weird and trippy. I don't know, maybe I'll do shrooms. I don't know. Never mind. Anyway, yeah. It came out in 1994, but it's about two girls in 1954 in New Zealand. And the girls were named Pauline Parker and Julie Hlume. I know my mouth won't let me say it correctly. Hlume, Hulme. Hlume. Anyway, both girls kind of grew up like Pauline had like some kind of bone marrow bullshit going on with her that she had to do a lot of treatments. Her legs hurt her all the time. And then Juliet had tuberculosis and she had to be moved like from Africa to like different places where the climate was different where she could breathe better. And then eventually the two girls Juliet ended up moving, and her and Pauline ended up meeting in school. And they were like infatuated with each other, like off the bat. And like they said, it really got intense between the two of them, and it was very weird. The parents were happy about it at first, but then it was kind of like, this is really getting off. Like, you guys are too close. Like, at the time, homosexuality was really like, you don't talk about it. That's very much frowned upon.
Yeah,
and it was speculated that they might have been having a homosexual relationship. And a doctor had advised, one of the parents, just leave it alone. They'll probably just grow out of it. So just leave it be. What had happened was Juliet's parents got divorced, and she was going to move with her dad back to England, I believe. I want to say it was England. And Pauline wanted to go as well, but her mom was like, no, you're not going to go. No, there's no way you're going. Right. And so then they started plotting to murder Pauline's mom so that she can go with her. And they weren't even going to go with the dad either. They were just going to take off, and they were either going to go to Hollywood or they were going to go to New York, because they like to write these really creative stories. They wanted to be screenwriters and have their movies or their stories made into big Hollywood films, and they were going to change their names, and they were going to have this great life and blah, blah, blah. So they planned it out for a little while. And then one day Pauline, Juliet, and Pauline's mother all went on a walk. They went to a tea shop first and then continued down a trail for their walk. And they had to turn around and come back because it was getting late. They were going to have to catch the train. And Juliet walked ahead of Pauline and her mother. Juliet had been collecting like these really pretty little colorful pebbles. And she dropped some on the ground. And she was, I think they said like 60 meters ahead of her. So she was like a ways ahead of them. And so when Pauline and her mother like walked up down the trail, like they see these pebbles and it's like, oh, how pretty. When she bent over, Pauline pulled a sock with a piece of brick in it and beat her mother to death with this brick. And then they turned around and ran back to the tea shop and said that, my mother fell down the trail and she bumped her head over and over and over again, and until she fell down the side. And when the cops got there, they were like, no, she had like over 20 different like hit marks to her face. Like her skull was like fractured in the front. And they're like, there's no way that would have happened. And then they found the sock. So then they went to Pauline's house and they found Pauline's diary talking in description of all their plan and everything. They speculated that Juliet had a diary as well, but that her family got a hold of it and destroyed it before the cops were able to get to the house. Yeah. And because they were 15 and 16 years old, they were too young for the death penalty. And back then they would hang you. And they weren't even allowed to speak in court because they were underage. Like they couldn't defend themselves. They couldn't make comments. They just had to sit there and just let everybody decide for them. They couldn't do anything. Yeah, it's fucking weird, huh?
Yeah.
But they ended up getting like 5 or 5.5 years in prison. They were separated while in prison. Juliet got out 2 weeks before Pauline did, and they both changed their names and moved in different directions of the world immediately.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and Juliet actually, when she changed her name, she actually started writing like crime novels, like historic crime novels and shit. And she's actually like a really famous. She sold like over 20 million books. So like she's making some money.
She's like, oh, I'm reformed.
Yeah,
I'm rehabilitated.
Yeah. Well, she says the reason why that she went along with helping her kill her mother was because Pauline was very intense, and that Pauline had been threatening to kill herself if she wasn't going to be able to go with her. And so she felt that she had to help her kill her mother because that was the only option she could think of. But there's nothing anywhere in Pauline's diaries saying that she's going to kill herself if she can't go. Like, there's nothing. Both of these girls are said to be highly intelligent. Highly intelligent. They were evaluated by medical professionals, and they're not considered insane in any way, shape, or form. But they do think.
You want to see a picture of one here real quick? You want me to put one up?
Yeah, for sure.
Here we go.
But I guess and Pauline is the frumpier looking one. So Juliet is the prettier one.
Wait, which one's pretty to you? I don't. What?
No, I said the prettier one. The other one looks frumpy. That's the frumpy one. Like, she's all mad. but
that's pretty frumpy. All right, I'll give you that.
The frumpy one is Pauline. That's the one whose mother was killed. And like I don't know. They were saying that it could have been that Pauline was having a psychotic episode, and that Juliet was influenced by that psychotic episode, because once they were separated in prison, it took Pauline that whole 5 years to kind of understand and come to terms and be remorseful for what she did. It wasn't instant. She even wrote in her diary, she's like, I'm excited. She's like, this is like Christmas night. Like, I'm planning a surprise party. Like, I'm so excited to do this. Like, she was writing, like, she's like, I'm very aware, but I'm, intentful to murder my mother. But Juliet, I guess Juliet was very sorry right away. And I don't know. I mean, that doesn't mean that she was sorry, but it took a long time for Pauline to say anything. And Pauline ended up being a recluse. Like, she oh shit, I forgot to get a photo of it. I guess somebody bought her house, Pauline's house. She was a recluse. She sat on a mattress and watched the same opera every single day.
Oh, fuck.
And this guy bought her house. And when he bought her house, she painted this big fucking mural all over the wall. It was almost like a cathedral type, like something like a,
Weird.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you would see on like a church ceiling kind of, or like the glass mirror shit, but it's of two girls in different scenes. Like, it's pieces of their lives painted symbolically together. One has dark hair and one has lighter hair. But yeah.
Whose house was it?
It was in Pauline's house. Somebody bought it. I watched a news segment on it. It was like a quick news segment. But I was like, damn. To me, this chick did sound fucking crazy as shit. I think they're both crazy. I think Juliet's just more sane and maybe manipulative, more lucid in her thinking than Pauline is.
Let me see if I can't pull that up real quick too. I will add that to the docket right here if I can make it work. Oh, wrong button. I just had it.
What's Pornhub?
Come on, damn it.
Are you lagging today or no?
What's that?
Is your internet lagging today or no?
No, I just don't know where the picture went because I just had it here to show.
Oh. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. That was it. That's my story.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Excuse me once. I've got this. I want to, because I just saw what you're talking about. If I'm correct here, let me know if this is the right one.
Yes.
Weird. That is creepy as fuck.
Mm-hmm. But it's like a blonde and a brunette, two girls. They're in a fire, like they're dancing, like it's almost ritualistic.
Yep.
Yeah, they were definitely in a relationship.
Yeah. Well, Juliet says they weren't. She says they were not in a homosexual relationship, but I think she says it because of the shame for the time, and she doesn't want to admit more.
Or maybe they weren't, and she was just really obsessive over her. Because
that's true.
Yeah, that's creepy.
That's very true.
Yeah, that's an intense way to end that right there. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Keep an eye on your kids.
Remember, the Trumpier ones are the angrier ones.
They killing every motherfucker up in here.
All right, time for the next one. Come on. Oh,
all right. So, Skylar Neese was the daughter of Mary and David. She was an only child, smart kid. They had moved from one city to another, and she met these girls, Rachel Schoaf and Sheila. What did I say her name was? Sheila Eddy. And they were, they were best friends. They were hanging out together all the time. And Skylar eventually got a job at Wendy's. So that's important to the story. Thursday, July 5th, 2012, she had come home from her shift. She said goodnight to her parents, and then she went to bed. The next day, her dad had planned to have lunch with her at, in their little apartment, and she was not there. He thought, well, shit, maybe she went somewhere, like a friend's house or whatever. Her mom didn't know where she was. Nobody knew where she was. She didn't show up for work. So that eventually set red flags. They even called this girl, her friend Sheila. Sheila didn't know where she was. And so they called the police. Her father noticed a bench that was outside her window. So basically she would climb out the window and take off. And sometimes she would sneak out, as teenagers often do. I know I did when I was a teenager. So Sheila said, oh, well, she snuck out with us, but we dropped her off, meaning we, her, and Rachel. So her dad calls 911. An officer basically says, well, it could be that she's a runaway. So they, kind of assume she's a runaway, but they're like, well, she didn't take any of her important stuff with her, so she can't be a runaway. They find footage of her in the apartment complex, basically walking to a car, coming back, and then walking out again. So it's like she snuck out, and then she came back, and then she snuck out again. Sheila supposedly said that, they just dropped her off, and then the cops eventually noticed that, they heard from people that there were rumors going around the school saying that Rachel and Sheila knew something about it, and they were the last ones to see her. The FBI got involved because she had been missing for quite some time, and they had asked Rachel and Sheila questions about it. The cops questioned them, and they said, well, we dropped her off a couple blocks from home. The phone records show, that she had been talking to both of these girls, and that they showed basically showed a difference in the story somehow. So
Lori said that was a lie.
Yeah. The lie detector says.
Yeah.
So Rachel eventually changes the story and was saying that, they drove to a place past Blacksville. I guess that's kind of where they lived. Where was this place? I don't remember. Oh, I didn't write down what city they were. Oh, West Virginia. Okay. So Blacksville, West Virginia. You know, because they checked the phone records, and so they checked, like, they could ping or whatever. So they knew that they had gone to this place, and they're like, oh no, well, we just dropped her off a couple blocks away, but that's not true because the pinging and all that stuff. So they both eventually changed their story, and Rachel was starting to act out at school. She was acting really just kind of erratic, and she was getting in fights with her family a lot. Her mother eventually called 911 on her because she was having a full breakdown, screaming, just being crazy and combative. And so they took her to a mental health facility. After she calmed down, you know, I don't know if it was a few days or some time past, whatever, she went to her lawyer's office, and she eventually confessed and said, we stabbed her. They had been planning, the two girls had been planning this for months. So when they picked Skylar up, they had a shovel, extra clothes, knives, and cleaning supplies with them. Yeah. So these girls had been planning it for a while.
I hope they were this organized going back to school every year.
Right. Yeah, they went back to school and like were acting normal and stuff for a while, and then eventually when the rumors started, and then like the FBI like closing in on them, asking them questions, like I think it was just too much for her. She was just crashing under all the pressure. So she basically, she ratted them both out. But cops were kind of like unsure because she had lied so many times. So they eventually used Rachel to get Sheila to admit it because they needed the story to be corroborated. So they placed hidden cameras and they tried to do all that stuff and
collected soda cans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always
So
can.
they were trying to do that. So they were checking on, you know, eventually they had gone through the car that Sheila was driving, and they collected DNA from the trunk. So nothing really happened after they had the hidden cameras and stuff. Sorry, the DNA was before. So like they were collecting DNA while that was happening. They were trying to get this confession, whatever. So they didn't get anything on camera, but they eventually got the warrant that they needed anyway. So they searched Sheila's car, got all that, got the DNA, and they had found a body past Blacksville, and it matched the DNA that was in Sheila's car. So eventually they get arrested, and they're both charged. Rachel pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, and Sheila was charged with first-degree murder. So it said that the motive was basically that they didn't like her anymore, and they didn't want to be her friend anymore, so they just killed her. There were rumors also going around that maybe Sheila and Rachel had a relationship and that they killed Skylar, kind of like yours. They killed Skylar because she was going to out them. So yeah, I mean, nobody knows that for sure, but yeah.
Okay.
Wait,
I want to put the picture up real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, so the two on the left side,
I'll be right back.
The far left, that's Sheila, and then in the middle, that's Rachel, and then on the far right is Skylar.
And what state was this in again?
West Virginia.
Really?
This is back in like 2012.
Okay, so almost 10 years ago. Fuck.
About that.
Are they still in prison or no? Or did they get?
They're serving life.
They're serving life.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep. So
that's crazy.
I mean, sucks. Like, how did these parents not know that there was something up with their kids? You know, like that your kids would do something like this, you know?
Sneaky ass little kids.
I guess.
Oh my gosh.
I guess it's because I never thought about murdering anyone because I didn't like them. But,
you haven't hated enough.
No, I give them. It's reasons like, oh man, you chew too loudly. That's a good reason. Not just because I don't like you. That's rude. Oh, shut up.
Okay.
The poop age. Get it? Hey.
I could murder. I'm a pup.
You just like any kind of white fish. Yeah, see?
Well, we're coming down. We're actually getting pretty close to the end of it here. I got a short one for you guys and a little clip to go along with it. Her name is Erin Caffrey, and as a 17-year-old, she plotted the murder of her entire family.
Whoa.
With her boyfriend. Obviously, there's a boyfriend. Because when you're in love, you have to kill your whole family just in case. Like they might get in the way of true destiny.
Show me how much you love me.
Love at 15. No, that's for me.
So romantic, like Romeo and Juliet and shit.
They go reverse though. Instead of each other, they go and stab the family, murder them. So they get some help, and they end up trying to kill all 4 of them, but the dad survives. But her two younger brothers, and her mom do die. And this is actually her at 21. Let me get this clip going here real quick. Got to stop the screen share and add the next one. This is her explaining what she was going through with none other than Dr. Phil. Because who else is going to get to the bottom of the truth than the guy who found
Sexy vegan. We have to do an episode on sexy vegan, for the love of God.
Oh God.
Do you guys know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've seen that. Like singing or some crap. Oh, I want him to die. Actually, we can plan that one out. I'd be fine with that. Hey. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we go into this one, let me get this on the screen. We had some questions. Gary says, "No parole," and this is that in Virginia also? Was that all in Virginia?
Lauren's was in Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine was in New Zealand.
Yeah. And did they get parole?
No, hers are in for life. Mine got 5 years, and then one of them got parole for a very, very, very short time, and they're free to do what they want. So.
Yeah, New Zealand's wildin'.
As long as you do it underage, because they can't hang your ass either. So.
Nice. It's terrible. Oh man. But yes, okay. So this is again. This is Erin Caffrey, and here's the always intuitive Dr. Phil.
Everybody
too much makeup on his head.
That dog ain't going
sitting
hunt.
in a car plotting the death of your family. Every parent in America wants to know what are we looking for? How does this happen?
I guess. Charlie was her first real boyfriend. Every girl my age, talks about, getting pregnant and having a family, and every girl wants that. And I guess I just thought I was grown.
How does being grown?
I guess I just thought I was grown. So obviously that means, you're grown. Family's gotta die. Yeah, family's gotta go. That's just is what it is. I mean, obviously she's a very intelligent woman. Look at her. Look at how calm and smart she was in that situation. I mean, he was my first real boyfriend.
Got nothing but time to read and think. So
it's but goddamn, I don't want to show any more Dr. Phil right now because I'm just gonna get irritated with that girl. But yeah, 17 years old and entire family just was gonna wipe them all out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, all of these stories, all the way up until recently, because we already covered them, the Linderman stabbings, and they didn't kill their friend, but she did get 20-some stab wounds. That little girl, I think she was 8 when it happened.
It was vicious. It was very vicious.
What do you call it? you always hear about the guys later on doing the killing or the shooting sprees and stuff, but gender equality, women can murder too. Don't forget that, people. Let's get T-shirts that say that. I think it really help out.
It's National Women's Day this month, someday this month. So, hooray!
Go kill someone for it and make a name for yourself. But yeah, her answer to that is like, I guess I just thought I was grown,
I think what she means is she was a dumb kid and she's just a fucking idiot is basically, I think, is what she was saying. I was stupid. I was a fucking dumbass.
Like, you don't, I mean, as a kid and teenager, I was like, I wish this motherfucker would just die.
Yeah.
I don't mean it, like, in the long run. Like, when you're a teenager, all your feelings are so intense in the moment. So it's, gosh. Whoever decided that 13 to 17-year-olds have that many hormones running through their body at that age is cruel.
Right?
No, it's true though. Like it's too much for some at one point, and you know what? It's overwhelming for most people at that time. It's just an overwhelming feeling.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Everything was the end of the world.
Yeah, right there. Just new T-shirts. Women kill people too. I think that's a good one.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Gender equality.
Richard, this show is such a good push for pro-choice and using protection. Absolutely use protection, or your children will come and murder you.
I didn't say that.
All right, we're down to like the last 3 minutes, guys. Does anybody have a short one they wanna squeeze in there before we wrap this up?
No, it's not short.
Yeah.
So we should save these ones then, because this was pretty interesting. I got two more here that are also going to take a little bit longer. I think we're gonna need a two-parter for this one fairly soon. But other than that, guys, very interesting stuff. I now know that if I need someone killed, I gotta hire a kid in New Zealand. That would be good. Or have them try to take care of that barrel, like we heard in the Dance We Can Laugh At. So just reverse it though. It's totally safe. Don't worry about it.
Question for Migs.
Oh, real quick.
If you hire that kid from New Zealand to kill someone, do child labor laws come into play?
Ooh. True.
Do they need
waivers?
If I send a child from here to New Zealand, they won't have to pay taxes.
There you go.
Yeah. So win for the kid, win for me. I don't know. Maybe that's the way to go. Anyway,
look at you trying to child labor any way you can.
Entrepreneuring and shit.
Why are kids like even given freedoms and rights? They're tiny evil people. We just heard about that. They're all ready to murder you. So child labor laws, throw them out the window. Make these kids go back to the mines and keep them away from you. All right, all of them. Anyway, let's wrap this up. Anything to add, guys, before we leave?
Brush your teeth.
You guys know where to follow us on all platforms.
True.
Well, not all.
All right. Almost. Yeah, pretty much all. The good ones. All right, guys. Y'all have a good one. Take care. Hopefully we'll get those those deaths all together for a little bit of extra March Madness hilarities. And we will talk to y'all next time, next Thursday. How's it going, guys?
Bye.